Alright guys, welcome back to another video. We're going to start off here talking about Metaphor ReFantazio, which has had an absolutely phenomenal release from the critical point of view and from the sales point of view. We'll talk about that. Looks like there's a new Hogwarts Legacy game that is going to be coming out and some rumors about an upcoming Xbox showcase very soon. But before we continue, make sure to hit the subscribe button, like the video if you enjoyed, and share the video around. So Metaphor ReFantazio, as we know, has just taken everybody by storm. Everyone is talking about this game and playing it. It is a massive release here from Atlus, and there was a huge controversy surrounding this game on social media, mainly with the marketing rights. There was a big discussion going on as to whether Atlus should have chosen Xbox to market this game, because generally there's that narrative that JRPGs just don't sell as well on Xbox, and you could definitely make that argument with PlayStation and Nintendo being much bigger in the Asian regions and in the Japanese regions, that you would think maybe going with Xbox to market this game could hurt the overall sales, and it absolutely has not whatsoever. So that discussion has completely been disproven, as Metaphor ReFantazio here has already sold 1 million copies, and it's only been out a single day, or when this number came out, it was only out for a single day. They say here that Metaphor ReFantazio has sold over 1 million copies as of its official release date, and this is what Sega has announced. They say that's enough to make Metaphor ReFantazio the fastest selling Atlus game of all time. So it broke the record of Persona 3 Reload, which also came out earlier this year. They hit 1 million in a single week. One thing that is definitely for sure is that the Persona series overall has become far more mainstream than it ever has. We're seeing a lot more people jump into it and play it. We saw Persona land on Xbox for the first time. It actually also came into Xbox Game Pass, and people are playing it on every single platform. So Atlus now has an IP here that'll just appeal to a much larger range of people. And Metaphor ReFantazio, just in terms of like the narrative and the style that they are going for, does seem kind of more mature. It will appeal to more people. You're not really in that high school classroom setting that I think for some gamers out there, they just may not want to play a game where you're in that setting. But with Metaphor, it's a setting that will be more appealing. So I think that also plays into the overall sales. And then also the Xbox marketing has been phenomenal around this game. It has not hurt it whatsoever. They made a good decision going with Xbox for the marketing. People are talking about this game. It's being shared around. Even if they are asking the question, is this game exclusive to Xbox? That means the marketing is doing its job. I've seen pictures of it in Times Square. They've been showing it in other parts of the world and everything with the Xbox logo all over. So it's been a large success here for both Sega, Atlus, and with Xbox. Now, they do continue on here to say that October 11th global release date has already seen the Persona style game shoot up to Steam's most played game list, with 42,992 concurrent players at the time of this article's publication. And of course, it is available on PS4, PS5, Series XS, but they say neither Sony nor Microsoft makes player numbers publicly available, so we just don't know what the sales split in, but you could assume it's just doing well pretty much everywhere. So this is a major success. This is a nice launch here that Atlus is going to be able to use and then go out there and make multiple in the series of Metaphor ReFantazio. This one will be around for a while, and for good reason, because it is a phenomenal game, and of course the sales are doing very well. Now let's talk about this, because this is a pretty big thing going on here, and we don't know the full truth behind it. And this has to do with Xbox and where it is in Saudi Arabia and other Middle East regions. There's been a report going around based off of a social media post that Xbox is basically just pulled out of the region. You're not going to be able to buy consoles there anymore. Now, this isn't the first time that this has happened, and people are looking for clarity as to what is actually going on here. We do have finally a statement here from Microsoft. I believe they've actually commented on this previously as well, but we have Windows Central, Jez Corden, he dug into this, and we kind of have some more clarity as to what is happening, and did they actually pull out of Saudi Arabia and the Middle Eastern regions? So this is what we need to know. Recently, they say a prominent games journalist in Saudi Arabia claims that Xbox is planning to exit the country, with potential implications for the wider Middle East region. And Microsoft has been battling this. I mean, their sales there, I just don't think are where they want them to be. And they may be thinking about, hey, if we pull out from the console space and just sell Game Pass and other ways to access Xbox, that will be more profitable for us. So that could be something in their minds. But they say here, in a statement provided to Windows Central, Amy Silverman, who leads the Xbox consumers, said that Xbox devices remain available in all currently supported regions, specifically noting Saudi Arabia. So right now, the report that they are pulling out, or that they have pulled out, is not true based off of what Amy Silverman is saying. And this is the tweets saying from the account here from Saudi Arabia, the games journalist, as to what he said was happening. He says, according to what I received, Microsoft has officially informed major stores in Saudi Arabia that it will stop selling Xbox devices in Saudi Arabia. Even distributors won't be able to get the device. And he says, I asked Microsoft for a statement about this a few weeks ago, and they refused to give it. I think if the talks wasn't true, they would have easily denied it. But they obviously have given a statement. I mean, according here to Amy Silverman, the Xbox Chief Consumer Sales Officer, saying Xbox devices are available in all current Xbox hardware supported countries, including Saudi Arabia, and console availability may vary by country, but Xbox games can be played on consoles, PCs, and on phones, tablets, or TVs where Xbox Cloud Gaming is available. And Silverman also noted that players can head to xbox.com/regions to see where Xbox will continue to be available. So as of right now, the claim that they're pulling out is not true. That's what this does sound like. They specifically do mention here that console availability varies by country, but Xbox games can be played on all of their devices, including Saudi Arabia. So we'll see. Maybe this changes in the future. Maybe he got an early report that they are planning on doing this, but as of right now, it looks like it is still all available. And when it comes to console sales, are just not doing very well just across the entire board. It kind of does make sense. We are about halfway, maybe even a bit further than halfway through this generation. We've seen the PS5 Pro that is going to be coming out, and they priced it at a price tag where they clearly know that this is going to be a very niche market for the PlayStation 5 Pro. We have not seen a price cut for the base PS5, for the Series X, for the Series S. There may be some sales during Black Friday and over Christmas, but right now we're in this weird spot where generally at this point in the generation, you are seeing the main consoles go for far cheaper. There's bundles with games packed in, and that is just not the case. And it is affecting, I would say, the overall console sales. And we're seeing it here hit in August of 2024. We do have the numbers from Circana about the US video game hardware sales seeing a drastic year-over-year decline in August of 2024. It says, per the sales data, hardware spending fell from roughly 325 million to 208 million. And that's a 36% drop year over year. They say it was also added that each current generation console had at least a 34% fall in sales compared to August of 2023. And the Nintendo Switch had the furthest fall at 41%, which the rumors surrounding Nintendo right now will add to those sales falling, which is the Nintendo Switch. We will talk about this major data breach, which I would say at this point is basically forcing Nintendo to have to come out and announce the Nintendo Switch 2. They say here, while the steep drop in sales shouldn't be surprising, the current generation Xbox Series XS and PlayStation 5 consoles are almost 4 years old, and most players who buy them already have them, and that the Nintendo Switch is over 7 years old and is set to be replaced. So the near 50% year-over-year sales fall is somewhat expected. And I would agree with those points here. We're at this point where the sales are falling, and there's been nothing to generate more sales like price cuts, specifically with the Series X and the PlayStation 5. And when it comes to Nintendo, the Nintendo Switch 2 is around the corner, and now we have some more information that I guess definitely confirms this. Massive Game Freak leak has reportedly happened here, where we're getting information of the Pokemon Gen 10, the Switch 2 codename, and more. So they say here, according to Pokemon Insider Central Leaks, Game Freak has hacked earlier today, and everything from source codes for older Pokemon games to the Switch 2 codename has now been leaked onto the internet. So they claim here that there's going to be a new Pokemon MMO under consideration with a file labeled MMO test. The codename Synapse is a battle-focused multiplayer game jointly developed by Game Freak and ILCA, and this appears to be in the works. And leakers have said that it is a Splatoon-like game, which would be interesting, a multiplayer Pokemon shooter. Kind of, you think about as well Pal World with the Pokemon, or the pals with guns and they're being sued and everything. So that's an interesting one. It says information about the next Pokemon generation has also been obtained by the hackers, with Gen 10 being referred to as Gaia, and it is being developed for both the Nintendo Switch and the Switch 2, and it's going to have two version names of K and N. Now, the Switch 2 reportedly has the codename Ounce. That is, I mean, that probably won't be the final name. We don't know what the final name will be, but that is the code name for it. And the source codes and beta builds for Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Black 2, White 2 were leaked alongside everything above. So interesting things here that I think is going to force Nintendo to come out sooner rather than later and give us that announcement for the Switch 2. Obviously, releasing or leaking the code name is proof that it's there. And then also, they're making Pokemon games. This is kind of going to be showing their strategy going forward for the Switch. They're going to have the older Switch versions, and they're going to have the Switch 2 version, which means that it's just probably going to be slightly upgraded graphically, frame rates, and all of that type of stuff, because there's no way they're going to be abandoning all of the Nintendo Switch users out there, especially as they're trying to go for the record to beat the PlayStation 2 as the best-selling console of all time. And they are still releasing new SKUs for the current Nintendo Switch. You have the new Zelda Switch Lite. You have some new bundles with the OLED. So they are going to be supporting the current Switch here, I think, for a very, very long time, probably throughout most of next generation with the next upcoming Switch. And you're going to have that ability to go back and forth with that backwards compatibility between current Nintendo Switch and whatever the next one is, which we'll see a nice upgrade. I do believe that. Nothing that'll put it on par with the current consoles, but just a nice upgrade compared to what you currently have with the Nintendo Switch. Okay, let's talk about this, because if you're a Hogwarts Legacy fan, there looks like there's going to be a definitive edition in development. This is a phenomenal game if you haven't played it yet, and if you are thinking about getting it, you may want to wait for the definitive edition, which will just be a better version of the game. It says here that Insider Gaming understands that Hogwarts Legacy Definitive Edition is in development and that its content will be sold as a separate DLC for those who currently own the game. And it's supposed to have around 10 to 15 hours of additional content, a new story quest, side quest activities, and outfits. So this isn't just going to be an upgrade, which I don't see why they would need to upgrade it. Like graphically, it already looks phenomenal and plays very good, but it's specifically going to have more content to it. If you enjoyed the story, you enjoyed the questing, you enjoyed the exploration, this is going to be one definitely to wait for. They say here that details on when the edition and or DLC will be released and its price are still in flux, but still some sources have suggested that it could be released in 2025 to bolster Warner Brothers' diminishing gaming revenue following the weak performance of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. And it's been suggested that DLC will be between $20 and $30. And this is kind of what we are seeing in the AAA space now. Companies don't want to take risks anymore. And if they do have a flop, such as Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, or you think about PlayStation and Concord, we're just going to keep continuously seeing them double down over and over and over again on the successful IPs that they know will make them money. If they release a definitive edition of Hogwarts Legacy for 10 to 15 more hours of content, $20 to $30 if you already own the game, this thing is going to sell insanely, and they know that, and it's an easy, cheaper way to make back and recoup the losses from previous games like Suicide Squad. I mean, I would be excited for it. I will definitely check this out because I really enjoyed the main game. So cool to see that, and we will wait until the announcement. Maybe Game Awards is when we get the announcement for the definitive edition of this, and maybe it's an early 2025 release for the game itself. All right, let's talk about this, because there is a big thing going on here with digital gaming, and why I am still kind of skeptical on the all digital future. And people think it makes their lives just easier and everything, but I think there will be a lot of negative things that do come out of it, and that just comes overall with the ownership of games. And games just can be taken away with the snap of fingers and taken off a server, and you can't access them anymore. You don't actually own the games that you buy digitally here. It says here that Steam now warns players are only buying a license to a game at checkout. In an update to the checkout process of Steam, there's a new message that is appearing reading that a purchase of a digital product grants a license for the product on Steam. And this is coming, again, not long after California put in a bill which is forbidding digital storefronts from using terms like buy. And that is because what you're paying for could actually expire. If they say unless customers are explicitly warned that what they are paying for is a license of the game, which may expire at any time, they can't use the word buy anymore. So this is all coming to the forefront now. You do have GOG Gaming continuously taking shots at this, which I think is smart, because with GOG, they say that your launchers are offline and that can never be taken away. So when you buy that game, you actually own it. But we are going to see some more of this happening. And if games do start randomly just going away and people are losing access to their digital catalog, that will be a whole other can of worms that gets opened up. I mean, it's already kind of happened with older games where people just can't access them anymore. But this is all really showing that the whole digital era is going to be an interesting one, and how the companies are going to tackle it in terms of potentially having to make changes if more laws come into place. All that stuff will be something to continuously follow. All right, let's talk about a couple more things here. Resident Evil 9. If you're looking forward to this, I mean, I love 7. I love 8. I like that trilogy that they're doing here. I'm excited to finish it off here with Resident Evil 9, which I believe will be the end of the kind of current story that they have. It looks like it is coming sooner rather than later. It is showing up here on Metacritic, and hopefully we get an announcement for this at the Game Awards or something like that. And then finally, big showcase could be coming up this week, a partner showcase, which is usually like indies and just third-party stuff that Xbox is working with. Looks like it will be very, very soon. This is a rumor saying Xbox partner preview show to be announced near the start of next week. So hey, by the time you've watched this video, maybe it will be announced shortly after that, or they announced it and you've watched it. Who knows? But Nate the Drake puts this out here on Reset Era, and someone wrote, Nate hinted that it's happening next week, and this is a response to the Xbox showcase. It should be announced near the start of the week. So it looks like we will be getting an announcement here for an Xbox partner showcase. And again, that's third-party stuff, companies that they are working with, indies. But what's always exciting about the Xbox showcases when they do get announces, it means that there will more likely than not be some more announcements of games coming into Xbox Game Pass. But I will end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.